Level 1. The pattern nobody wants to see. 11 cars, 0 break-ins, and a supervisor who told you to stop looking. 6 months into this job, you already know the truth nobody tells you at the academy. Most stolen car reports go nowhere. A number gets filed, a case gets a reference code. Nobody calls back. Detroit doesn't run out of stolen cars. It runs out of people willing to look twice. Your desk has 11 open files this week. Same story, different names. No broken glass, no triggered alarm. The owner locks the car at 11 p.m. By 6 a.m., the driveway is empty. One of the victims is a woman in her 60s. She needs that car for dialysis appointments twice a week. The insurance payout won't clear for a month. Nobody has an answer for her. That's the one that doesn't sit right. You pull the files side by side. Something itches at the back of your head. 11 cars. 11 late-model SUVs and sedans. 11 keyless entry systems. Not one broken window, not one alarm. You bring it to your supervisor. He doesn't even look up from his screen. Insurance will cover it. Close it out. You don't close it out. That decision is about to cost you more than a few late nights. That night you stay 2 hours past your shift, pulling the addresses onto a map. 3 neighborhoods, all within 4 miles of each other, all in the last 5 weeks. This isn't 11 separate thefts. This is one operation. And you're the only person in the building who's noticed. You don't know it yet, but this file, the one your supervisor told you to close, is about to take you further than any case you've worked. By the end of it, you'll understand exactly how far $50,000 a week can carry a crew that nobody's watching. Level 2. The signal you can't see. A device the size of a garage remote, 30 seconds, and a car thinks its own key is standing right beside it. You call in a favor, an old contact from a cybersecurity unit, someone who owes you from a case 2 years back. You lay the pattern out for her. No forced entry, no alarms, keyless vehicles only. She doesn't even blink. Relay attack, she says. 2 guys, 2 devices. One stands near the house, picks up the signal from the key fob inside. Doesn't matter if it's on the kitchen counter, 20 feet from the door. The other stands by the car. The device just extends the signal between them. The car thinks the key is sitting right next to it. You ask how long it takes. Under 30 seconds. No trace, no forced entry. Half these cases never even get flagged as theft rings because nobody puts them together. That's the part that keeps you up. Nobody puts them together. Because most investigators see a stolen car and file it. You saw 11 and asked why. You start working the case on your own time, pulling traffic camera footage from the 3 neighborhoods, cross-referencing timestamps. A pattern emerges. A dark sedan, same make, circling each target block roughly 90 minutes before the theft. Scouting. You sit outside one of the flagged blocks for 3 nights straight. Off the clock. Nothing the first 2 nights. On the 3rd, at 1:40 a.m., the sedan rolls past. Lights off half a block before the turn. You don't move. You just write down the plate and let it go. Spooking one runner means losing the whole network. You widen the search. The same sedan shows up outside a gym parking lot, a laundromat, a strip mall. Different neighborhoods entirely, but the same slow drive-through, the same pause. This isn't 2 guys anymore. This is a network with runners. And someone is coordinating all of them. You take the footage to your supervisor. This time he looks up. How many vehicles are we talking? At least 20, maybe more we haven't connected yet. He authorizes a task force. Small. You, 2 detectives, 1 analyst. It's not much, but it's enough to start pulling threads nobody else was pulling. Level 3. The paper trail that shouldn't exist. A car that was totaled 8 months ago just sold for full price, and it was never in an accident at all. 3 weeks in, you catch a break. It has nothing to do with the relay attacks. A used car dealership flags a vehicle for a title inconsistency. The VIN checks out clean, no theft alert, no red flags. But your analyst notices something strange in the registration history. The vehicle's insurance record shows it totaled in an accident 8 months ago. Salvage title. Declared a total loss. Except it's sitting on a dealership lot. Spotless. Selling for full market value. You pull the thread. Somewhere between totaled and for sale, this car's identity got transplanted onto something else entirely. Something that was never in an accident at all. VIN cloning. You'd read about it in a training bulletin once and forgotten it existed. Someone is buying up salvage titles, matching them to stolen vehicles of the same make, model, and color. Giving stolen cars a legal identity, clean paperwork, clean sale. No buyer ever suspects a thing. You need to find who's doing the cloning. There's only one way to do it without spooking the operation. You go undercover. You pose as a private buyer looking for a specific SUV. Same year, same trim as 3 of your open cases. You post in the right forums, ask the right questions in the right Facebook groups. Within 4 days, a listing appears that matches almost exactly. You arrange to meet the seller at a body shop on the east side. Your hands aren't shaking the way you thought they would. They're steady, because you know exactly what you're looking for now. 30 seconds in, the shop owner asks a question. Why does a private buyer want to see the undercarriage before price? It's not a question a real buyer asks. You cover it. A mechanic friend told you to check for frame damage first. He studies you a beat too long, then shrugs it off. The shop owner, mid-50s, doesn't make eye contact, wipes his hands on a rag before he speaks, walks you around the vehicle like he's done this 100 times. He probably has. You don't make the buy. You don't need to. You've got the location, the plates on 3 other vehicles parked out back, enough for a warrant on the property. But as you're walking back to your car, your phone buzzes. Your analyst. 3 words. You need to see this. The shipping manifests you'd requested from the Port Authority just came back, and what's in them is bigger than anything you've found so far. Level 4. The container. 3 shipping containers. Machine parts, the manifest says. The weight says otherwise. The manifests show industrial equipment. Machine parts headed overseas. Except the weights don't match. 3 containers, all shipped through the same port. All listed as equipment, but the declared weight is off by exactly what you'd expect if the equipment were actually vehicles. This isn't a chop shop operation anymore. This is an export ring. It's been running for months without a single flag. You bring in federal partners. Homeland Security Investigations has jurisdiction the moment vehicles cross a border. For the first time since you opened this case, you're not the only one who believes it's real. The Joint Task Force builds the picture over the next 5 weeks. Wire transfers moving through 3 shell accounts, a staging warehouse on the south side, leased under a name that doesn't exist anywhere else. The body shop owner you photographed 3 weeks ago. His name is on 2 of the wire transfers. And the sedan you first tracked scouting quiet neighborhoods, registered to a man named Marcus. Mid-40s, no criminal record, licensed for an auto repair business that's barely more than a mailing address. He's not the top of this. He's the recruiter. Somewhere above him is a buyer who's never touched a stolen car in his life. Just a reference number on a wire transfer. Moving vehicles by the container load out of a Michigan port into markets 3,000 miles away. You get the order for a coordinated raid. The warehouse, the body shop, and 4 residences, simultaneously at 6 a.m. on a Tuesday. You barely sleep the night before. 5 weeks of work comes down to one morning. At 5:52 a.m., sitting outside the warehouse, radio silent, you realize this is the closest you've come to understanding why your supervisor wanted this file closed. It would have been easier. You're standing outside the warehouse's roller door when it goes up. 12 stolen vehicles inside, mid-stage for shipping. Federal agents move through the body shop 2 hours later. Marcus is arrested outside his house. The case that started with 11 files your supervisor told you to close ends with 14 arrests, 31 recovered vehicles, an international export ring that had been running untouched for the better part of a year. The woman with the dialysis appointments gets her insurance claim cleared in days instead of months, because now there's a federal case file backing every word of it. Your supervisor doesn't say much when it's over, just one line, standing in the parking lot as the last vehicle gets towed out. Good thing you didn't listen to me. You didn't. And now every case that crosses your desk gets a second look, because the ones nobody wants to check are usually the ones worth checking twice.